My name is Alekz Londos. I own an international disaster relief and humanitarian company. This post is some of the first information I started seeing and learning about the earthquake that affected the people in Nepal. As you can see, the journalist from the BBC did this story, tent cities springing up for displaced people affected by this earthquake. A very strong 7.8 magnitude earthquake has hit near Nepal's capital of Kathmandu, and the U.S. Geological Survey says it expects heavy damage. April 26, 2015, I did this post. Facebook deliberately deleted my Nepal earthquake posts from my wall without even taking the time to check to see if it was a legitimate project. All 10 Facebook shares that it had received in the first hour were gone because Facebook apparently controls what people post on their wall. Obviously, my humanitarian mission is also directly related to the earthquake recovery efforts. So as people are suffering and dying in Nepal, Facebook slowed down my potential progress. Let's see how long this post stays up. My travel visa will arrive on Thursday, and I'm still a little short on buying my flight. I will not only be volunteering in Nepal for over a month, I will also be donating approximately $4,500 in emergency aid, food, water filtration systems, medicine, first aid supplies, basic hygiene items, and international survival kits. Right now, the current plan starts. I fly into Kathmandu on the 9th. I then meet up with a doctor in Nepal. We are packing all of my supplies into a 4x4 Jeep, then driving up to the earthquake epicenter on a dangerous, washed-out dirt road. After a 5-hour expedition, we will make it into a remote village. We will then be in the Gorkha District, in the earthquake epicenter. Our plan is, we will then distribute the supplies that we brought, the food, the water, the shelters, the clothing, but we also will be treating medical injuries and giving the isolated communities hope. I will be in Nepal for a month, flying back on June 8th. It sounds like an easy plan, right? I'm bringing the approximate $4,500 in supplies that I had mentioned, though it's not enough. I would like to take a moment to explain what the International Survival Kit, or ISK, actually is. So it's my company product, something that I created or invented, and I designed it to help alleviate suffering and malnutrition and solve all of these different things after disasters. So let me tell you about it. So it consists of 40 different survival items, first aid items, packaged in a compact, durable, resealable Mylar packaging, and it even floats. So I created them specifically to help bridge the gap in between when there's a disaster and additional help and resources arrives into the area to help the people affected by that disaster. I created it to save lives, to alleviate suffering, and to prevent malnutrition. I created them to help mitigate sanitation and hygiene challenges, as well as prevent the spread of contamination and disease. Also, they help restore some human comfort, dignity, and provide security. I designed them for earthquakes, for after earthquakes, before earthquakes, to keep in your car if you're in a car accident, to take with you in your bug-out bag if there's a forest fire, or if you live in a hurricane prone region. So they're perfect for all these different disasters, and again, those are called International Survival Kits. You can check them out on my website, Advanced Disaster Relief. This was posted on May 10th, 2015. I arrived in Nepal and networked with Dr. T and his Ecopolitan team, a very well-known nonprofit organization in Nepal. After an all-day, four-wheel drive expedition, we made it out to many devastating villages in the remote region of the Gorkha District, the epicenter of this horrible earthquake.
Will we do another shoot?
He's not in four-wheel drive. If the tire's not spinning, he's not in four-wheel drive if this tire's not spinning. Remember before? Yeah. If you put it in four-wheel drive, it'll click in. Go, gas, gas, give it gas, give it gas, gas.
Amazing, amazing devastation. It looks like nuclear explosion took place in here from the earthquake in the village of Kaprong in the upper Gorkha region. It's like a ghost town. Nobody is here. The village is dead. People are in tents below the village trying to survive the rain and the monsoon. We had amazingly horrible monsoon last night when we were here, and it must be so devastating and so difficult for them to handle that. We're happy there were no casualties. People didn't die here. There's some injuries, but they managed to all get out of the houses in time. And like we said earlier, luckily the schools were closed, so the children were not in the school and would not have been otherwise here for us to say namaste like they always do. And it's interesting that the people are still with good spirit. Everywhere we go, they still say to us, like always, namaste.
The next day, we went hiking for several hours on foot, where vehicles can't go, further into the epicenter towards the Himalayas, close to the Tibetan border. There are many people here that have never even seen tourists or hikers. Our team made it further than any journalist or humanitarian regarding this natural disaster. We came across 2 villages where every house was completely destroyed. The rest of the team and Dr. T arranged me a place to stay in one of the villages. He and his team left today and will not be returning until October. I will be out here for the next month and making my way back to civilization several days before my flight leaves back to the US next month. There is no time to delay preparation for monsoon season. I made the decision to stay out here for the next month by myself and help with the cleanup efforts, constructing temporary shelters, and help prepare them for the peak of monsoon season. The monsoon season has already started and it's raining heavily right now with severe thunderstorms. I still have some battery life left in my phone, though there is no electricity here and bad reception. I will most likely not be able to communicate. These people need more help. They are very accepting of any help. Some of them have nothing left. Much is destroyed, and they are now directly exposed to the elements. Oh, it's fine. It's good. Okay, we good? Yeah, everybody's good?
Okay. What? Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Easy. That easy? Easy. Easier than handing. I'll have you take a picture once I'm starting to wrap it up. But yeah, it shows the wound right here. You got a cut, rock on.
It's going recording.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that was cool.
Dr. T and his nonprofit organization has a much larger long-term plan for the rebuilding of homes, schools, and orphanages in the region. He's helped build many schools and orphanages that are now completely ruined. You can help by supporting his efforts to rebuild the Nepali villages, schools, and save its culture for future generations by visiting nepalichildren.org. That's nepali-children.org.
Magnitudes of Crisis by Jacob Pierce. Santa Cruz photojournalist Alekz Londos on what he saw while providing disaster relief in parts of Nepal where other organizations wouldn't go. As we wrap up our interview, photojournalist Alekz Londos mentions how uncomfortable he gets talking about himself.
I hate doing interviews. I get nervous. You make me nervous.
Londos, a native Santa Cruzan, who still lives here when he's not traveling to aid and document disaster relief efforts, is speaking intensely as usual. He's wearing a crisp, gray collared shirt, and underneath it, a thick silver chain necklace. His beard is neatly shaped, his hair spiked, his eyes are green with a hue of reddish brown. Londos has been telling me about his trip to Nepal this past spring. He landed 2 weeks after the magnitude 7.8 earthquake that decimated the region near Kathmandu, the country's capital, on April 25th. The quake killed 9,000 people and injured 23,000 more. Londos was treating cuts and infections in small villages where the military, major media outlets, or even aid organizations like the Red Cross wouldn't go. At one point, 2 parents brought him their daughter, who had a cast on her arm. The family didn't have the time or money for a trip to Kathmandu. It took Londos over an hour to saw off the cast himself and replace it with a splint, which he took off 2 days later. He also passed out his survival kits, which he assembles himself. With 40 items, the International Survival Kit, which Londos also sells in local stores, is a combination of first aid, survival, and basic hygiene needs. It even has an organic heirloom seed mix so that if it gets dropped somewhere, the seeds will grow and offset the carbon footprint the pack created. The kit also has a rape alert whistle, but in Nepal, those ended up in the kids' hands. Throughout his 18-day trip, Londos heard their shrill sound all over the Himalayan foothills.
All of the time, there was whistles. And the parents just let the kids have them, so the kids were always blowing them. That was fun.
This wasn't Londos's first natural disaster. He was in New Orleans to pass out food after Hurricane Katrina. He was in Ghana for the Ebola outbreak last year. He volunteered in New York after Superstorm Sandy, and in the Philippines after the super typhoon struck there in 2013. In Nepal, Londos wasn't just bandaging injured villagers. He was also taking pictures. His images do more than show destruction of quiet villages. They offer a look at a people 7,900 feet above sea level, eager to rebuild their homes and their lives.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that was good. Got it. Yeah.
What's the first thing you did when you heard about the quake?
I was familiar with the area. I knew that most of the buildings and structures were built with rock and mud. And I had a friend who was there volunteering with a humanitarian organization. So I already knew what the structures were built like. Right away, when I found out there was an earthquake, I looked on Google. I knew the size of the earthquake and the approximate radius it would cover. I saw a town and a village and a city. and I researched their populations and came up with a couple 100,000 people in a close proximity. I was shocked. This just happened and no one knows the severity of this earthquake. It's not even in the news yet. How densely populated this region is. I thought 10,000, 20,000 deaths. I thought 30,000 injuries. My estimates were slightly high, but I knew I was going to go. So later that night, I set up a GoFundMe campaign. I put it live the next day to get the money that I needed to get a plane flight.
What was the housing like in these Nepalese villages before the earthquake?
Imagine a serene, scenic, peaceful village with rock walls and nice pathways, their trees and agriculture and their animals, just how they have it set up from the pictures I've seen. It seems like they live the perfect lifestyle in the Himalayan foothills. They're sustainable. They live off the land. They recently acquired electricity in 2012. They're away from war and pollution for the most part, and crime. They have a life many people in America would dream of.
How different did it look when you arrived?
Apun, the village that I stayed in, which was in the earthquake epicenter of the Gorkha District, is very far out there. From Kathmandu, it took us 2 hours on a paved road, 6 hours in a huge, lifted 4x4 vehicle on a dirt road, and then 3-hour hike just into the mountains. So I was at 7,900 feet elevation in the Himalayan foothills. It took all day to get out there. They don't have fire departments, they don't have a police station, they don't have stores, and they don't have hotels. None of that stuff out there. It's just houses and villages. When the earthquake happened, it didn't look like anything it did before. I was just shocked. They had 3-story buildings that were built with rock, wood, and mud. No concrete, limited nails. Everything just crumbled. The village I stayed in had 69 houses. 68 of them were completely destroyed. It didn't allow them to relocate and build some tents over here and over there. There was nowhere else for them to build. They had to first move all of the debris from their entire house off to the side before they could even build a structure. That set them back days, if not weeks, before they could even start building.
What was the first thing you did?
When I first got to Kathmandu, it was 2 weeks after the earthquake. We were the first ones to enter the region on any vehicle, so we had to get out and clear the roads and clear the debris, clear the rocks. There were cracks and divots in the road, and sometimes we had to rearrange things just to get out there. There was no driving into the village. There were no cars and no fuel. There's not even roads.
Was anyone uncomfortable with you being there?
Not at all. Everybody was really thankful, giving, or concerned for their other villagers. Everyone was asking, when is more help going to arrive? Where is everybody? Where is the government? Where is our military? Where is the aid organizations? Where is the religious groups? When they saw me, they would ask. When they came around me, they would see what I have to offer. When I would start treating medical infections, people would come over. I would have lines of people and people surrounding me. My guide would help me translate. I asked him, there's 30, 40 people around me, all talking and bumping into me. What's going on? He said, they're just so happy that you're here, and they're really scared of the earthquake, and they're really scared of the aftershocks, and they fear for their lives. One of the aftershocks there was bigger than the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. They would happen all the time. I think I felt 7 large aftershocks. Some of them would happen in the middle of the night and you're trying to sleep. People would wake up. You would hear dogs start to bark. If it happened here, you'd hear car alarms. But you'd hear dogs there and kids crying. During the day, everyone would get back and look to make sure nothing was going to fall. We would take a step back from our work zone and make sure everyone was okay. The worst one I was in was when I was just coming back from a medical mission. I was a couple hundred feet from the first house in Apun when I felt it, and it was really strange because it was the biggest one that I've ever been in. The ground was moving back and forth. I had to look up to make sure that I was not near any potential landslides. I had to make sure there was no rocks above me. I saw some crumbling and some dust coming up from a couple houses. It was roaring and rumbling. I ran the rest of the way.
In a situation like that, how do you avoid post-traumatic stress disorder?
I try to take good care of myself. I do get 8 hours of sleep. I don't use drugs. I eat 99 to 100% organic, and I have for the past 4 years. I try to have good people around me in my life. I try to ride my full suspension mountain bike when I can. I work out and I run. I'm trying to have that balance. I may have PTSD, or I might in the future, but right now I'm trying my best to avoid it.
Okay, let go. Let go. Here we go. Here we go again. Okay. Okay, we're going to play again. Uh-oh. It doesn't want to let go. Here we go again. Come on. Let go. Let go. Okay, here we go. Look, you ready? Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. No, it's more to the left. To the left. Yeah, get it. Bring it back. Bring it back, pup. Yeah, good dog. Come on. Bring it back over here. I'm over this way. Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh, good dog. Good dog. Look, we got... No, that's my hand. That's my hand. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see it. Let's see it. That's a cute puppy. That's a cute dog. All right, let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go of the corn cob. Let go of the corn cob and I'll throw it. All right.
Okay, there's an earthquake right now. We're having an earthquake. This is a serious earthquake. I can hear a landslide to the left. I hope everybody's okay. A building just collapsed right in front of me. I'm about ready to run over there and check on that building. I'm looking around for any other smoke. That's from a fire. I mean dust from the earthquake. Zoom out. I just hiked several miles. I'm on my way to Apun.
All right, I'm on my way.
I met with the Nepal military commander who was at the staging area based in the Gorkha District with his soldiers. He introduced me to a professional geologist that had his PhD. You can see his image on the left. The commander then asked me to take him on a geological tour of the destroyed village of Apun that was miles away.
You were in Ghana for the Ebola outbreak. What was that like?
I made the decision that I was going to go, and then I did a fundraiser campaign. And I already planned my trip before President Obama sent troops and anybody realized it was a problem. When I started going, everybody was like, "You're crazy. What are you doing? You're freaking out. The government has everything under control." Then it started killing 400 people a day. I was in Ghana when it was happening, but I showed up 2 to 3 weeks before the international community, and the UN even showed up with their staging area. I was just walking around for 2 weeks, some white guy in Ghana. I got abducted. I got robbed while I was there. It was such a crazy place. And then eventually, international aid workers came in, and they were going to be set up there for a month. I planned on them being there, and I was going to get on a military flight to Liberia, but I was just way ahead of it, and I couldn't sustain myself because I was there for too long. And the airport stole $2,000 to $3,000 of my equipment. They took all of my nuclear, chemical, biological suits, all of my hazmat gear, thousands of pairs of rubber gloves and face masks. They took all of that. They took me into the office and said, "So, do you want to leave this country? Or do you want your stuff back?" They were full on threatening me, and when I'd get mad, they would get in my face. I was not successful on that mission, not as successful as I wanted to be.
California is at risk for an earthquake at least as big as the one that hit Nepal. Oregon and Washington are due for one 10 times bigger. What do you think of the West Coast's earthquake preparedness?
There are still a lot of old buildings and poor designs and poor bridges. I don't think many people are prepared for anything. I don't think they ever are. People aren't concerned until it actually happens. If people were prepared, Red Cross and the government wouldn't have to pass out as much food or bottled water or supplies. All people need to do is stop by Costco and maybe pick up some basic items and make sure there's no expiration dates, so it's good for a long time. On June 23rd, 2015, I did this post. The interview that I did with Susan Skorupa from the Reno Gazette-Journal is now available online. 146,442 newspapers will be printed and distributed throughout the Reno-Tahoe area on 6/24/2015. I would like to sincerely thank Susan Skorupa for publishing such a great story. And again, thanks to all the people that donated supplies for my mission or that contributed towards my round-trip flight. I couldn't have done this without a solid network of good friends, family that trust in me and support my projects and ideas. I hope this story will help create more awareness as well as direct more donations and resources towards the people recovering from this tragic earthquake.